Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to be focusing on the Echo's exhaust. I already took it off. The bolts over there were pretty pain to remove, but one of them snapped, but I'll just get some new ones. The only reason I took this off was because, well, two reasons. One, the muffler, it just broke off. The welds on this piece right here were absolutely garbage. But also, while driving without a muffler, there's a bunch of leaks coming, especially from the front side. So I want to fix those as well. And then I'll be bolting it back on. But for now, I just want to find all the holes in this exhaust, fix them, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so after scraping all the welds that were obviously not made by Toyota, such as this one right here, these two right here, and this two right here, I scraped all of them, and so far I found there's a couple of holes right here, and there's one hole right here. So I'm gonna fix those real quickly. The welds aren't especially the best since they're quite thick, but I mean they work, so yeah, whatever. But also, if you see the welds on this side, right here, like they're absolutely terrible. That's why the muffler broke off. But I'm just gonna repair some of these welds. Maybe I'll even add another pass to some of these ones that really look bad. But once I'm done that, I'll put this back into the car and start making an actual exhaust for this thing. Alright, so I've welded every little spot that the previous owner / shop welded. This one, these two right here, and then this one right here. So all of them are welded. I'll check for any more leaks, and there are pretty much none. The next step to do is just going to fix this pipe right here. There's supposed to be a little... what is that called? Whatever, that you can separate it from the pipe. Whatever it's called. I just need to weld this on here, and then I can make the rest of the exhaust. But so now, it's night outside, so I can't really install it right now, but when it is, I'll install it back into the car, and then I can work on that setup right there. Alright, so I completely finished welding and everything. I also welded a little 90, just so it can be much easier for me to actually make the muffler section. Yeah, that's done. I also wanted to use this little resonator, but I am not sure if I'm going to have enough pipe after I make the muffler. But if I do, I'm going to take this off, cut it off, and install this little bad boy. But if not, then oh well, I'll just keep this for something else. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so it's technically the next day since it's like almost 12:30 in the morning, but that's okay. So I've completely reinstalled the exhaust. I still haven't screwed anything on there, and I still haven't tied in the O2 sensors. What I did notice though is the Echo has this nice feature where it connects the subframe to the actual chassis, which mine doesn't. I do want to actually replicate this, but I also want to connect mine to the, well, to this part where it connects to the lower engine mount. But that's not the point of it. The point is that now that it's in, I want to go back all the way down there and actually start making the muffler section. I'm not going to tighten everything back up since I'm not sure if you can see it, but wait, maybe you can. Yeah, right there. That's my header right there, and the bolt snapped, so I have to go to Home Depot and get some new bolts. I don't want to drive it since it's going to make a whole bunch of sounds, and I don't want to get pulled over, but I'll see you at that section. Alright, so now I'm at the back going to measure the length that I need for this car. So obviously I have a little straight flat, and the way I have it set up right now, it's gonna hang right about this bumper right here. It's not gonna reach, but that's okay because I can just get another tip. I'm also gonna have to weld a little 90 and also add a flange to this pipe right here, which is good. But in the meanwhile, well, actually, I was going to use this pipe for the Prius, but when I ordered it, it is just way too thick. So I'm gonna reorder the right thickness, which is like 0.065 that I need. And this is like almost 3 millimeters, so it is really thick. But overall, now that I know more measurements, I'm going to take this off, weld another 90, and then hopefully weld a little flange to it. But I'm gonna weld the flange to this piece of pipe right here first, because it's gonna extend it by maybe another 2 inches. Maybe I'm not gonna have to need a little thing, what is it called, the tip. But I'm gonna start welding this tip right here, and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back in the garage. I've already set up my welder, and I'm about to weld this piece. I did also make sure that I have stainless steel instead of steel in here, otherwise I won't be able to weld this. So, I already have everything set up, and that's why I told you that I'll have another maybe 2 or 3 inches extra because of how big this flange is. And I also have another flange, this one. This is an OEM flange. This is the one I use for my Prius's exhaust. But well, it's still gonna work. It's gonna work nicely. So I'm just gonna weld all of this, and then I'll be back with you. Alright, I have welded the flange onto the pipe. Now I just want to go back again to the car and test how good it fits. I still haven't welded the 90 on there, but that will be done once I've actually bolted up the actual exhaust to the exhaust manifold. And when that looks up, I'll be able to do the final pieces. But let's go back to the car and see how this fits. I still haven't welded the flange back there like I said, but if we do lift it, it comes around right here. Which is, I mean, it's fine. It will be sleek. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'll see you tomorrow when it's actually morning, so I can weld all of that up. Another thing I want to show you is the old hardware versus the new hardware. So this is the new hardware. It's really nice. Versus this hardware, it is really rusted and brittle. I also ended up snapping one of the bolts like I was previously told you. Here's the other one. I do have 4 of these. I was originally did purchase these for the Prius because I thought I was going to use that tube that I was now going to use for the Prius. I mean for the Echo, but you know, stuff happens. So what just happened, I'll just use these up here, these hardware, and maybe I'll actually weld this on since I am not using that 5-6 inch piece anymore, since it does actually fit. I might do it, I might not, we'll see. Alright, after running to my local hardware store, I picked up some new bolts. I got the nuts for the spring-loaded bolts, and then I also got these 2 bolts that bolt onto the little reinforcement plate that I had to take off. So now that we have all of this, we can go back to the car and bolt up to the actual exhaust. Alright, so right now plans are not so good because these bolts right here, they're too big. So I'm going to have to take off the exhaust manifold so I can re-drill these. But, so I also took out this bracket that was on my Prius as well. This just holds the manifold to the actual engine. Took it out, don't really need it, so I'm just going to throw it away. I'm now going to lower the vehicle. As you can see back there, those 2 bolts right there, they're way too small. So I'm just going to have to lower this again and so I can remove that exhaust manifold. I'll see you then. Alright, so I have drilled out the holes for the flanges and now they're bigger, as you can see here. And if I take my bolt, it fits right through. Alright, so now I'm going to install this back up and bolt up the exhaust. Okay, so I am back from measuring all this stuff. I already have my exhaust hanger bent down. I just need to weld it in the right position. But I've also took this out of the car one more time, just because I realized that these bolts right here, these nuts right here, they're actually steel, so I can weld them onto. I thought I picked up some zinc ones, so that's why I didn't really try to, but I guess it doesn't hurt to try. As you can see here, hangs onto. I'm gonna clean this up, well, the other side actually, and weld them up, just so it's gonna be much easier bolting in and out. But also what I'm going to do, I will clean up the surface since, as you can see, it's actually pretty nasty. once I'm done with that, I'll install this back in the car. I'll reinstall the exhaust one more time, and I'll also start welding this stuff up. But also, while I was cleaning up the exhaust, I also took away this piece right here. This is my power steering. I've always liked handling my cars without power steering. That's why I removed it in the first place. So it was a bit of a pain to remove, but I will also want to pick up a manual steering rack, since those cars, they came with it. It is just like really hard to find, but I will keep a lookout on it. But nonetheless, I'll weld this up and then I'll see you then. Alright, so again, gotta stop saying that. But anyway, I did weld the two nuts on here. That makes it easier, and I've also cleaned up the actual surface of it. It definitely doesn't have any more flakes, but it's still rusty. I'm gonna end up replacing this. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna replace it, but either way, it's cleaned up. I've also welded up this exhaust hanger right here. It's definitely not the best, but it will do the job. Next is just to put all of this into the car again and finalize this piece right here that I still haven't welded. Another thing that I'm really happy is when I first got this welder like a year ago, I bought this exact same piece of bend right here. Like, so you can see, it's pretty thin. And even on the lowest settings, I was still burning through this like a lot. But now, like a year later, like this is the same bend. But look, I've welded completely. I've welded it completely through, which I am really happy about. Which means I can just weld even thinner material and still make a nice weld. But nonetheless, I'm just really happy with this. I'm really happy with all of this that I'm doing. So I gotta put it back in the car and finish this all up. See you then. I am back from the car getting the actual exhaust. Here it is. And I've also separated the flange, which is right here. Now I just want to weld this piece onto this piece. I've already made some markings with some white mark paint, as you can see here. Wait, yeah, there's one here, there's one here. Same on this side. I'm just gonna weld this up, and then once that's done, I'm also going to remove this little 90-degree bend. Well, this is just getting the exhaust out a pain in the ass. So I'm just gonna get this off. Then I'm gonna weld this, reinstall all of this back into the car, bolt everything up, and then I can work on this last piece. I've already welded one flange on there, but I just need to weld one more, which is like around here, so it can be nice and sturdy. After that, I'll weld that, and I'll be right back. Coming back, I've grounded or cut away the excess piece, the 90. Now it should be much better to install it. And I've also welded up this 90-degree weld with an actual flange in there, which, just a reminder, the previous exhaust, well, this exact one, didn't have a flange. So now welded one should be servicing the exhaust much better. Now I'm going to install it back in the car, and I'll see you then. Alright, so the main exhaust is installed. I've turned the car on to make sure there's no leaks, and there's no leaks. The last part I got to install is this little brace right here. I got a new hardware for it right here. So I'll install this, and then I'll be able to install this muffler section. Okay, so the exhaust brace is installed right here. And also, a point thing to note out that I've also noticed is that the actual frame rails of this chassis, they're much larger, like they're separated more than my Prius one. I don't know what to think of it, but it's pretty interesting. Overall, let's go back to that exhaust. Alright, and I am absolutely finished with the exhaust. You see here, it connects all the way back there, and here it is with the car. I do want it to extend it maybe slightly more. I will probably get another tip or something and weld that onto here, but so far it works and I'm pretty happy with it. Overall, I'm quite happy with the results. The tips definitely do look small, but it's a 2-inch, so what do you expect? But right now, I'm just going to finish off the video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And I'm going to conclude this video with a cold start. Let's do it.